So she actually did it, but it's not as bad as it sounds. And what I mean by she kicked me out of the house is she said, Tim, I am tired of all of your hobbies in here. I'm tired of having crap spread all over the place for your YouTube channel and ham radio stuff and everything like that. She wants to reclaim the house, and I don't blame her. So backtrack just a little bit. Right before COVID, I actually started working from home, and I was getting a little cooped up being in the house. COVID happened, and then all of a sudden you've got myself, you've got my wife working from home. We have our 2 young kids in school and everything, and well, obviously they were doing remote school during that time. So we got on top of each other, and it was a little frustrating. So we started looking at building a building on the property to allow me to get out of the house, to kind of just at least give me some place to go. And we looked into it. The unfortunate thing was, and as you remember, building materials went through the roof because everybody was trying to build their version of a he shed or a she shed somewhere on their property so they could do it. So, I kind of rearranged some stuff in the garage. I set up a desk, and I worked out there, and it was okay until it got really cold outside. It was workable. But fast forward a little bit, I actually got more and more involved in content creation for YouTube. And not that I'm a full-time YouTuber, I still have a full-time job, but I do a fair amount of content creation for two channels. So I've got stuff, unfortunately, spread all over the garage, spread all over the house, and my wife says she is done with it. So earlier this spring, we decided to go ahead and have a building built. Prior, we had looked at maybe like a shed or something like that. But one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did was that whatever we invested our money in, it was an investment, not just something that was going to be there for 5 or 10 years. Not like a converted mini barn or anything like that. They tend to kind of, well, they're not built as sturdy as a house. So we started looking at what we could do to build something for me that would maintain resale value going forward. So what we came up with, for lack of better words, is just a mother-in-law's quarters. And essentially it's a detached addition to our house. So it'll be built to the same standards as the home, standard home construction. It's on a crawl space. The only thing is it's about 10 feet away from the house. So we settled on a studio out here. Studio in the sense that it's basically a 2-room building. Behind me here is what's going to be the bathroom. So there'll be a full shower in there, toilet, vanity, and such. We'll have a kitchenette in here, and I'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a second. It's kind of, there's really not much in here. It's still just a frame. I did put a small window in on the north and the south sides of the house, 3 foot wide, 1 foot high. One of the things that I wanted to do, because this is a studio, not a studio as in size, but as a studio as in YouTube, controlling the lighting, right? Obviously the lighting is not very good right now, but it is what it is. But I wanted to be able to control the lighting in here. East and west, we have horrible sun. Normally you want as many windows and you want as open as possible. Our living room is pretty much worthless in the morning and in the afternoon, evening, until the sun starts to dip down. As far as like watching TV, everything like that, we are perfectly aligned. Our feng shui, I think, or either chi, or I don't know what it was, but either way, it was perfectly lined up east and west for the sun. In this, I'm like, I told my wife, I said, we are not going to have windows facing east and west because I don't want this place blasted with light. So we went with these smaller windows. There'll be a sliding window. We do not have to have, because of the size of this and it's got an open walkway, we are not required to have like an egress door or window. So the 1 foot high windows are fine. To that point though, because I do amateur radio stuff, I have some expensive equipment. I don't want to have a nice open window for people to take stuff out of the building. One, but two, the other thing with these being on east and west walls, I have neighbors on both sides. Not an easy thing for them to climb up. Because the building is elevated, we're on a crawl space. Like I said, same plane elevation as our house. These windows are 6 foot right now from the subfloor. So outside they're probably about 8 foot. So not something from a security perspective that somebody that could easily find their way into the building from the outside. And then by having the smaller windows, that helps out. And then on the flip side, on the inside, it allows me to control that lighting in here a little bit better, so I can have controlled lighting for YouTube videos and everything. But yeah, so the only thing that I've committed to in here so far is basically the location of my desk. And roughly 5 feet on this wall to the outer wall, and about 4 foot from the window, the edge of the window to this. I'm going to put a standing desk in there, a corner corner desk that can elevate up and down, and probably bring myself and shoot this way. Other things that I'm looking at here in the room is the ability to have workbenches. All right, so part of the thing my wife wanted was to get all of the stuff out of the house. So I've got 3D printers. I've got, electronics projects, things like that, soldering. I need the ability to shoot down, and quite honestly, most of that stuff is filmed on my dining room table, and my wife not happy about that. So it's gonna get out of the way. So behind me here, I've got 12 feet of wall side to side. So either some kind of bench to be built, or there are some units. I've got one out in the garage now from Sam's Club that I really liked. Used that when I was working out there. It's high enough that you could stand at it if you wanted to and work, or sit on a stool. That's how I spent most of the year when I was out there working. So I don't know if I'm going to leave that out there, if I'm going to bring it out here, or if I'm going to buy new, or if I'm just going to build some form of a desk, or well, not a desk, but some form of a workbench out here, 2x4s, whatever, lumber. I kind of like the pre-made one. Those ones at Sam's Club are not overly expensive, a couple $100 for 6 foot wide, 72 inches. Yeah, 6 foot wide desk by about a little over 2 feet deep. The one I have is a fixed height one. The newer ones they've got are adjustable height. I'll put links to those down below. I really like those, and they come in a couple different colors. The ones I got outside are kind of they call them a granite, but it's a gray. It's like a hammered gray. They've got black. I think they've got some red. I'm not going to do red, but so those are the kind of maybe the workbenches I'm going to put in here. And like I said, I don't know if I want to put something all the way across this wall, if I want to put it in the corner, or whatnot. The other thing that I'm looking at, and I do not remember the guy's call sign. I'll put it down below, but he's the guy that builds the coax access boxes for you to cleanly run coax out of your building out to your antenna farm. So they have a grounding plane, not a ground plane, but a grounding plane inside the box. It's a copper plate that you would mount lightning arresters to. You would bring your your cable, your station ground going out would also tie into that. All that would go into a common ground that you would drive into the ground. So that has been ordered and it's on its way. I think that's a 14 by 14 box is what I ordered with, which is the medium box. And there'll obviously be a video on that and more in depth once it's here. My building guys are already aware of it. They'll figure out where to put it in here, and we'll have a nice clean mounting installation with an ingress port, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know if that's the right word, here inside that's finished and not just a hole in the wall for the coax to go through. Also, back in here, one of the things that I want to do, because I have a flex radio, I'm going to operate remote. I'll operate when I'm here in the building, but because the radio is not with me, if it starts raining in the middle of the night, I'm not going to get up and come out here to unplug everything. So one of the things that I want to do is make sure I have the ability to remotely power the radio down. If I'm not here and I leave it on, or if I'm at the hotel and I'm operating remotely, I don't necessarily know what the weather is here locally in central Indiana. So one of the things that I want to do is actually spend some time with Kyle, AA0Z, and get to understand Node-RED a little bit better. Just some talking to him briefly. I can do things, and I think this is really cool. Find, when there's local lightning in the area, let's say within 25 miles of my house, Node-RED will pick up on that and start that process of shutting the radio down remotely. In the case of the Flex, it needs to do the remote power off, which it will then shut the radio down and put it in a standby state. Once it's been in the standby state for a few minutes, then it's okay to go ahead and pull the power. So this would also then kill the power to the power supply. Let me know what you think down below. I'm going to throw in a montage here of the guys building the building. It'll start out, the foundation was already poured. That actually got poured while I was down in Huntsville and did not get a chance to record it. And when I came back, they were getting ready to start the framing. So that's where this will pick up. So it's a time lapse, so it's not gonna be a long thing there. Check it out and stick around to the very end. I had been hinting over the summer about the 3,000 subscriber giveaway and what I was going to give away. Ready to spill the beans on that, so that'll be at the end of this video. So I don't know about you guys, but I found that to be very cool. I have never had an opportunity to watch a house being built, and so I got a chance to do that and record it. These guys have been great. They've put up with me coming out here bugging them and everything like that. And Josh, the guy that they've got working with them, is a machine. I know it went through very quick, but that guy, we've had some super hot days, and I tell you what, he has been out here just banging out this building as fast as he could. 3,000 subscriber giveaway. I had kind of thought about, how we're going to do this. And so no purchase necessary, no nothing. The only thing that I ask you to do is to subscribe to my email list. So when we hit 3,000 subscribers, I'll go ahead and download the list of email addresses that are signed up for the list. I will put them in the thing, twizzlate them, stir them around, randomize them, and then I'll have the computer pick a winner, and I will reach out to you at that email address. Now, generally, I do not email people for anything other than, well, you know what? I don't know. I haven't emailed anybody because I just started the list. But ideally, it's not to bug you. Worst case, it is to let you know when I post videos. So there you go. So that's how we're going to do it. The what? Well, if you've watched the videos over the last couple months, when I've been kind of teasing this thing, I've talked about something that you can only find in the finest of penal institutions in the United States of America. What I'm giving away is a Denko 5.5 amp hour battery, but it's in the clear plastic wrap. It is a very limited edition. Matter of fact, I think there's only 3 or 4 of them in existence. And I own one, and I'm giving away one. So the only caveat to this is the shipping. Unfortunately, because of the regulations on shipping batteries, it has to be inside the continental United States only. So our friends up in Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii, I'm sorry, but still sign up for the email list. If I pull your name, we'll figure something else out that will work instead. But if you're here in the continental United States, by all means, make sure you get your name on that email list, and we'll get it drawn. So with that being said, I will get out of your hair. Thank you for sticking around. And thank you for helping me grow this channel. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share this content with your friends, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. And until we have an opportunity to meet on the air again, I have a video right over here that you might be interested in.